Welcome to Motivating Monday. I'm Edwin from the Jurong Church of Christ, and I'm happy that you have joined me today as we examine God's words together. Now, I'm sure that at some point in your life, or perhaps even presently, you have experienced instances where you have neglected your duties or responsibilities, whether it be in church, in school, in work, or in your family due to a lack of drive or simply because of laziness. There are various reasons why a person might exhibit laziness or neglect their responsibilities. Fatigue could be one reason. After a long day of work or school, you might just want to have a long, undisturbed rest. Or a person may also struggle with finding the motivation to fulfill their responsibilities. This could be due to a lack of interest or passion. Or when faced with overwhelming tasks or a high level of stress, some individuals may also become paralyzed by the pressure and to resort to avoidance. It could also be due to a lack of accountability or consequences. When there are no immediate accountability or consequences for neglecting responsibilities, a person may be more prone to laziness. So, to align with our ongoing Pearls from Proverbs series, today we will delve into the wisdom found in the book of Proverbs regarding the concepts of laziness and diligence. We will uncover teachings that offer guidance and insights on how to navigate these aspects of life, especially in the context of being a Christian. So there are a few passages from the book of Proverbs that talks about laziness and being diligent. But today we shall focus on Proverbs 24, verse 30 to 34. This passage presents a powerful lesson on diligence, laziness, and the consequences of neglecting one's responsibilities. Proverbs 24, verse 30 to 34 reads, I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man devoid of understanding, and there it was, all overgrown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. So shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. So the passage begins by describing the encounter with a lazy man, a sluggard who neglects his field and vineyard. The writer observes the field which is overgrown with thorns, the ground covered with nettles, and the stone wall in a state of disrepair. So this imagery portrays a picture of neglect and abandonment and serves as a warning about the dangers of neglecting one's responsibilities. And it is important for us as Christians to not forget that we all have responsibilities as Christians, such as following the teachings of Jesus, spreading the gospel, or serving others. All these are commanded in the Bible. And in verse 32, the writer not only sees the neglected field, but also takes the time to consider and reflect upon it. This act of observation and reflection is crucial as it allows for a deeper understanding of the situation and learning even from the mistakes and shortcomings of others. Just as what Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 10:11. Now all these things happen to them as examples, and they have written for our admonition, upon whom the end of the ages have come. So Paul is emphasizing the relevance and significance of the Old Testament stories for the early Christians. He suggests that by learning from the mistakes and experiences of those who come before him, believers can avoid falling into the same trap and can better understand the workings of God's plan in the world. So back in Proverbs, the passage further emphasizes the temptation of laziness and the dangers of excessive rest in verse 33. It warns against the subtle progression of idleness, where a little sleep, a little slumber, and folding of the hands to rest can lead to dire consequences. Well, a little sleep causes no harm. Surely we all need a little rest from time to time. But the problem here isn't the sleep of the lazy man, it is his neglect of duty. In this case, the lazy man thinks himself innocent because he did not deliberately or actively sow the thorns or break the wall, but his neglect of duty did them. So therefore, he is without excuse. So this verse encourages us to recognize the importance of remaining vigilant and avoid the trap of procrastination and inaction. And finally, the passage concludes by highlighting the inevitable consequences of laziness and neglect. It states that poverty will come upon the lazy individual like a robber, and one will arrive like an armed man. So this analogy paints a picture of sudden and forceful deprivation that results from neglecting one's responsibilities. This verse serves as a clear warning of the potential impact laziness can have on one's well-being. And it is important to again note that we do not know when Jesus will come again, and we don't want to be caught in a situation where we are all caught unprepared. So how does this passage apply in our life? In our fast-paced world where distractions and temptations are all around, this passage serves as a reminder to remain diligent, responsible, and proactive. It encourages us to take care of our obligations, spiritual or even personal or professional, to avoid the negative consequences that may arise from neglect. So, by cultivating a diligent mindset, we can avoid the pitfalls of laziness and experience the rewards of purposeful and fulfilling life. So, it is important to acknowledge that the Bible not only recognizes the presence of laziness, but also offers invaluable advice on how to conquer it and embrace diligence. Let's explore a few examples derived from the Bible that can empower us to overcome laziness. So in Proverbs 21:5, the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. So what it means is that we need to set goals and make plans. Setting clear goals and making practical plans can help us to stay focused and motivated. These goals could include like reading the Bible daily, praying regularly, participating in Bible study, or engaging in acts of service. So setting goals provides the direction and helps us to stay focused on our spiritual journey. And also breaking tasks into smaller manageable steps can make them less overwhelming and increase our willingness to take action. In Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. So this passage teaches us that we need to seek accountability and fellowship. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who encourage and challenge us can provide accountability and support in overcoming laziness. So seeking an accountability partner such as a fellow Christian can help us keep motivated and focused on our responsibilities. And in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe this verse is very familiar to all of us. This verse reminds us that we should rely on God's strength and guidance, for we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Overcoming laziness is not solely relying on our own efforts, but on God's strength working within us. So by relying on Him, seeking His guidance, and surrendering our laziness to Him, we can find the motivation and perseverance to overcome it. And we could do this through our prayers, asking for strength, or persist in nourishing ourselves with the scriptures in order to resist or overcome temptations. So in conclusion, Proverbs 24:30-34 provides an valuable lessons on the consequence of neglect and the importance of diligence and responsibility. So the passage warns against the gradual descent into laziness and highlights the sudden and forceful impact it can have on various aspects of life. So I hope that this short lesson today could serve as a reminder for all of us here to tend to our responsibilities diligently, knowing that neglect can lead to undesirable outcomes. And by embracing diligence and avoiding the temptations of idleness, we can cultivate a life of purpose and more fulfillment. Thank you.
Holy Lord,